What's going on, everybody? This is Taylor Mountie here, and welcome to a new episode of RangeTime. What I have for you today is an American classic. It's based off the rifle that helped us win World War II, the Korean War, and served in the first few years of Vietnam. It's a rifle that General George S. Patton described as the greatest battle implement ever devised. What I have for you today is the Lego M1 Garand. Now, let's take a look at some of the attachments here. We have the bayonet, the M1 bayonet, and it attaches very easily to the barrel. Now this model measures up to about 40.5 inches long and is about almost 2 inches wide. And it took me 12 hours to build. It took me half a day to build. So here we have the bayonet. You can notice that it's this bayonet is very supported by the strength of the barrel and the gas system, because inside this barrel and gas system there's actually some large, really long Technic pins holding it together. Now, put the cap back on. Now, let's go over to some of the attachments. Now, some of these attachments you may find very familiar from my previous episodes. The last time I did a Lego model like this, just like this, with this kind of function, was the Lego M1 Garand. You can check that out on my channel at Taylor Mountie. That's the name of my channel, is Taylor Mountie. And check out the Lego M1 Garand. But you may find these attachments in there. We had the biometric optic analyzer 3 optic, which highlights enemies in red around the frame. This whole frame around the lenses light up in red and highlights in blue when you're aiming at an ally, and when you're aiming at an enemy it highlights red. Now we have the reflex sight, which is your average red dot sight. It attaches to here very easily. Okay. You have the reflex sight, which is your average red dot sight. So let's take it off real quick and show you. Then we have the recon scope, which you can actually see through. Let's attach that. There's your recon scope. Your emitted light optic sight, which has a holographic illuminated yellow dot reticle in between the two pillars. So there's your ELO sight for this rifle. And then we have, last but not least, the Bayrex 3 scope, designated marksman rifle scope. You can take the lens cap off, and you can actually see right through the scope. So, get it off. Then we have your tactical mounting rail attachment. Then we have the M1D Garand sniper scope. The military made 2 sniper variants of the M1 Garand Rifle. There was the M1C Garand Sniper. Didn't see very much action in World War II. But then the new model, the M1D, did serve right through Korea in the early years of Vietnam until it was replaced by the M21 in 1967. Now, the history of this rifle goes a long way. In 1924, the very first prototype was made by the inventor of the M1 rifle, John Cantius Garand. Let me get this straight for you. His name was John Cantius Garand. He was French-Canadian. He was born in 1888 and he passed away in 1974 at the age of 86. And in 1924, he came up with this model. He came with the very first prototype in 24. Didn't work out very well, and even some of the prototype testing failed. By 1926, he soon abandoned it. And then about a year later, he came up and started all over from scratch with a brand new prototype rifle. Then by 1928, he had some extra, several prototypes made. And in 1929, he demonstrated his invention one last time before the military. And guess what happens? The Garand rifle won hands down and helps John Garand beat the other competitor firearms inventor John Pedersen. So the M1 Garand Rifle, it took the military several years to make a decision. By January or February, early 1936, the military soon adopted the M1 Garand Rifle. It soon became the standard issue service rifle of World War II in Korea. It helped our soldiers help win the war, and it gave us a big advantage over our enemies, which all the other countries besides us, all the other countries in the world were depending on manually operated bolt-action rifles with a 5-shot magazine. So we were the only ones with a semi-automatic rifle at that time, which is revolutionary. So in 1936 it was adopted, and of course, and basically it basically gave us a bigger, faster rate of fire, and above all, it really served pretty well, and it made a good reputation at that time. So now let's go over the model here. There's your buttstock, the back of your buttstock. Now we'll go over, and here's your rear sling mount fitting. Then you have, let's go over to the trigger guard, which is your Winchester trigger guard. Now this model does have the moving trigger, which the safety's on. Here's your elevation knob, which turns and rotates. The same thing with your elevation, your adjustment knob, Then there's the internals, which has your clip ejector inside here, which is spring loaded, by the way. Here's your rear foreguard, the top of the rear foreguard, the bottom of the rear foreguard. Here's your other sling mount fitting with the other end of the sling on it. Then here's your front foreguard, and then your front forward sling mount fitting. There's the barrel and the gas system with its fixed built-in bayonet lug. Here's your front sight post, and your front of the end of your barrel and your gas port. Now the ammunition. Now let me get this straight for you. The M1 Garand Rifle, just like the other previous rifle, like the bolt actions, they have what is called an internal magazine. And this M1 Garand is fed with an 8-round M-block clip. Now let me get that straight for you. It is technically called a clip, and it only holds 8 rounds, and it don't hold any more than that. So you can actually top off a Garand if you fire off about, say, a few or several rounds. So when you load the clip, you push it down with your thumb, and you want to make sure you have your hand against the operating rod handle. Hence, that's where the name M1 thumb came in, or Garand thumb. Because in soldiers in World War II, if they didn't load the clip properly, they get their thumb caught, and the results can be very painful. Hence the name Garand thumb, or M1 thumb. So soldiers would have to load the clip with their thumb and have their hand against the operating rod to help. Now, the target we're going to be shooting at today is a cardboard target at about close to 75 yards. So I got 5 extra clips of 8 rounds a piece, all loaded. And now let's take this thing to the range and see what we can do with it. Do note that when the 8th final cartridge is fired and ejected out of the rifle, at the same time that happens, the empty 8-round M-block clip will eject and fly out of the top of the rifle too, with that distinct ping sound. Load again, another 8 rounds here, and we're ready to go. Another 8 rounds here. One more clip to go. All right, here we go. Well, there you have it. 8 rounds fired. All clips now fully discharged. Now, I gotta say this rifle shoots pretty darn good. So, now, you can see why the soldiers of World War II and the Korean War loved this rifle so much. Gave us a bigger, much faster rate of fire than the rifle that we replaced, which was the M1903 Springfield bolt-action battle rifle that only held 5 rounds. So, the rifle down. So, be sure to subscribe to my channel if you're new to the channel, and drop a like and hit that bell button when you want to know when one of my new videos comes out. So, stay tuned for another episode of Range Time, and we're going to be going over something from a video game called Halo. It's the Halo Reach M6G Magnum. So stay tuned for that. So again, subscribe to my channel, drop a like, and hit that bell notification button to get notifications. So that's it. This is your Range Time. This is your new episode of Range Time, and we saw the M1 Garand in action. So hope you enjoyed that, and I'll catch you later. This is Taylor Mounty here with your episode of Range Time. We'll see you again real soon. Merry Christmas, folks, and a Happy New Year. So, thanks for watching. Peace.